Breaking news. Millions of Americans will be killed by this Wuhan supervirus. Major cities will be locked down. The economy is going to implode. The end is quite literally near, ladies and gentlemen, and no one is prepared for this bioweapon that is rampaging around the world right now. If you pay attention to the television, they're talking to you about politics, they're talking to you about sports. These people have let this virus in our country, and they're running to lead it into the ground. They're trying to bury us all, and we'll end up buried in our buildings, just like the Chinese. Check out this footage. It's rather disturbing. We're getting more information about the latest outbreak in Italy. Numerous towns and cities have been impacted. Everything's been canceled. Cities have been locked down, quarantined, and the like. We're learning that one case was in a Milan hospital. We're expecting major outbreaks all over Europe in the days to come, as well as in America. These people, didn't just walk from China into, the rest of the world. They took planes, and wherever planes go, that's where the Chinese went. That's where this virus went. It's in a town near you right now. We recommend pulling your children out of school right now and preparing for this drop-dead virus, for this bioweapon that was made in China and released throughout the world. And it's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, every major city and the like. Just a few weeks before this all broke down, the Chinese were on world television saying they were going to rewrite the Bible. Every Christian out there was pretty much shaking their heads, and now we're seeing the ramifications. Quite literally 28 days later, it's been a month since the lockdown began in Wuhan, and the situation is spiraling out of control, and the leadership in America is nowhere to be found. And of course, they didn't even put out enough tests to test everyone. How can they detect an outbreak if they're not even testing people? Ladies and gentlemen, there's thousands and thousands of people under quarantine, under supervision, and they've only tested a couple hundred. They have no idea what's going on, and it's on purpose. Latest numbers from Italy, over 50 infected, and numerous cities, numerous towns, numerous regions on lockdown. And just out of the blue, they've got more cases than anyone in Europe, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're getting news that a DHS whistleblower against the Obama administration, Phil Haney, was found dead. Another one added to the body count. That's what happens when you let these criminals go. And undoubtedly, they've had a hand to play in this epidemic, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up out there. We're learning that a FEMA center for domestic preparedness in Anniston is going to be used to quarantine some passengers. The FEMA camps have begun, quite literally being reported by Fox 666 News out there. Coronavirus outbreak. The latest maps keep getting worse. Dramatic surge in untraceable clusters, according to the mainstream news. Coronavirus cases around the world spark dire warnings. It's running away from them on purpose. Check this story out. Grooming gang review kept secret as Home Office claims releasing findings not in public's interest. This is the same Home Office, like the FBI, basically, Department of Justice out there, that basically set up a hotline for pedophiles to call in and get information on how to rape children. Check out the Pedophile Information Exchange, PI. That's Pedophile Information Exchange, PI, at the Home Office, brought to you by the UK. Hardcore Sodom and Gomorrah. They're truly evil out there. There's a reason why there was 1776. Tens of thousands of girls abused and raped, and it's not in the public's interest, they say. You can bet this virus will not forget the UK, ladies and gentlemen. Audio, this is something that people need to listen to. Audio of CDC press conference this morning, pandemic preparedness update, warning that schools and businesses may need to close in the future. They're setting the stage. Pull your kids out now. Start preparing, ladies and gentlemen. On NBC just a few minutes ago, they're saying that the virus in Iran has morphed. It's a different strain. So what does that mean? What's going on? Has it become more virulent? Is there now an Iranian death strain circulating around the world? We're getting news of that. 28 days later, the survival plot for COVID-19 patients shows 50% kill rate in patients that were hospitalized. And of course, they didn't count all the people that they buried alive in their buildings, ladies and gentlemen. United States must be prepared to prevent, detect, and respond to the threat posed by bioterrorism. That's the law, actually. And guess what? They broke the law once again, and they screwed everybody in the process. They can blame the Russians, they can blame the Chinese, but at the end of the day, they'll have to blame themselves. And they'll have to blame Sodom and Gomorrah for bringing this virus to their shores, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Zhang has successfully isolated COVID-19 from urine of patients. So, all the homeless people in San Francisco peeing on the streets are going to be spreading this. It's going to spread through the sewers, through the pipes. It's going to be everywhere. Check out our video archives for all of the information on, what you need to know about this virus. Another Twitcher, unfortunately, has been spotted. And we've got a few of those in the video feed recently. We saw this poor lady basically plummet to her death trying to escape. And, it's a sad situation when you're unprepared for a pandemic like this, especially when you've had weeks to prepare. And this one was from Hong Kong just the other day. So, very disturbing. We're looking at the difference between Ebola, SARS, MERS, and the Wuhan strain. And, it just blew everybody away, obviously. This is no ordinary virus, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we have? Doctors are confirming cases way above, the official numbers. CDC confirms only 35 cases, but now they want to transfer 70 confirmed coronavirus patients. That's being reported by CBS LA. And this was supposedly going to be a quarantine center. No walls, not gated, no security. People could just walk out and just infect everyone around them. And they were ultra concerned about that. Costa Mesa, check out that report. Coronavirus kills 2 in Italy, just like that. Prince Andrew accuser Virginia Roberts says every single room of Epstein's mansion had cameras for blackmail. Why did they whack Epstein? Well, you can't have an outbreak if you don't test anyone out there, ladies and gentlemen. How interesting is that? This is a rather interesting little tweet here. How do you know that? Well, here's where it begins. The likelihood of Nancy Pelosi praying for Trump is about the same as the likelihood of Satan running around quoting the scripture. And everybody knows that Satan quoted scripture to Jesus. Didn't you know that, ladies and gentlemen? Remember those 40 days in the desert? It is written. The city of Costa Mesa is seeking to block the transfer of 70 confirmed coronavirus patients. Where did these 70 people come from? Where are they? What are the real numbers out there? Nobody knows. And you can check out the actual injunction here, the text, and they talk about, this facility just being totally inadequate, that, the feds must be deranged for choosing a facility like this one, because it would be too easy for people to escape. Iran reports another death out there, and, it's just, the cases are skyrocketing everywhere. Prepare, you have days, not weeks. Get guns, ammo, all your meds, first aid, food, water, booze, everything you can. Force yourself to buy stuff. You'll be glad you did, ladies and gentlemen. San Diego County currently monitoring 200 plus people of coronavirus, and it's pretty much like that in every major city across the country. Not enough tests, and the tests that they did send out didn't work. And how can they detect an outbreak if they're not testing people? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this one out. It's been 4 months since OPCW whistleblowers spoke about what was going on out there, which was basically faking the evidence and blaming the Syrians for a chemical attack that, basically was financed by this administration, or, the UK most likely. And there's a real terrible track record of, chemical weapons attacks in the past few years that were linked back to the UK or this administration. And so they've got, a track record of using, biochemical terror attacks to sway public opinion. A couple attacks in Syria. You had the Novichok attack in the UK, which was right outside of Porton Down, their weapons facility. So very similar in nature. There's no telling whose fingerprints are on this. Of course, this virus is coming for, these big cities, ladies and gentlemen. And you just have to say good riddance. Ride out the storm. Coronavirus kills 2 in Italy. South Korea reports 87 more cases. They've got, over 400 now. Patients test positive again 10 days into self-isolation. This was after being cleared. And so, this thing lingers around. Chances are people are relapsing and not just getting reinfected. Flu or something else. U.S. experiencing worst flu season for children in past 10 years. And of course, this virus hides behind the flu in a sense until it just blows up. And, on and on it goes. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, we expect this drop-dead virus to show up in everybody's doorstep within the next few days. It's probably already in your town circulating like the flu. And it won't be until, weeks later that you figure out it's, something else. Start employing self-isolation, social distancing techniques. Be a germaphobe out there and the like. Start using rubber gloves at the very least if you're going to go out shopping. Avoid, close-up encounters with people and the like. Avoid crowds. But the most important thing you can do for yourself right now is prepare. Get everything you can. Hydrogen peroxide deactivates this virus, as well as oxygen. So if you can grab oxygen, you can basically disinfect your lungs early on with your own personal oxygen bar. So we recommend getting oxygen, baking soda. Raise your pH a little bit. This virus thrives in acidic blood. Avoid the soda, avoid the junk food, and the like. And, be well rested. Just about everybody's going to get dosed with this thing. You need to manage this disease the best you can. And being healthy, well rested will make a big difference, as well as your initial dose. You really want to think about viral load. You don't want to be breathing in other people's air. You don't want to be talking to too many people out there, taking risks that are unneeded. Again, we highly recommend people start pulling their kids out of school and, just call it a leap year. Besides, most people probably won't be able to finish their school year anyways. And, if they bring that home to you, that's really going to be a very difficult situation. So our recommendation right now is to pull your kids out of school. Quit your job if you have to. Take care of them. Start stocking up and start, preparing for the last stand, quite literally. Expect goon squads to show up in your neighborhoods to basically liquidate you. As we've seen in China, this is undoubtedly going to be part of the Agenda 21 extermination program, much like the fluoride, the vaccines, the 5G, the GMOs, and the like. So, don't be a mark. Get smart. Get prepared out there. And we highly recommend people rebuild their immune system by cutting out EMF in their lives. Ditch the Wi-Fi, the smartphones, and the like. Your safety depends on it, quite literally. And there's tons of research linking EMF, Wi-Fi, and the like to immunosuppression, depleted white blood cells. It's no joke. Do everything you can to survive right now. Go get a dumb phone. Pull out the battery when you're not using it. And never go to sleep with a computer or a cell phone or a router in the room. Chances are these things are emitting hidden signals right now to suppress your immune system. You certainly can't discount EMF as a cofactor to this outbreak. Death towers, cell phones, Wi-Fi, routers, you name it. And it's all basically punishment in disguise. If it says smart on it, it's probably out to get you, ladies and gentlemen. And, that's just some of the tips that we can provide right now. Be sure to check out our website for up-to-date information. We update our website and our Twitter feed regularly with the latest numbers and what we're seeing on the ground. But chances are they're going to have to liquidate everyone that's suspected of being infected, because there is no cure, and it'll, relapse. People will relapse like herpes, but with this killer virus. And so they're going to be coming after all the super spreaders by design. Of course, they let this in by design. This is going to be another 9/11. The planes are 20 miles out. The planes are 10 miles out. Do the orders still stand? Of course the orders still stand. Haven't you seen the Georgia Guidestones? Of course the orders still stand, ladies and gentlemen. Check that out. The video guy is trying to get some attention. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, the situation couldn't be any more emergency-like. Full liquidation, full genocide out there in China, mass extermination. And as this outbreak shifts from China to the rest of the world, we'll be seeing scenes like this in cities, in America, cities in Europe, and the like. And this is just the beginning of, the plague of 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Much more to come. Be sure to stay tuned for future updates. Unfortunately, if you're not prepared, you'll probably end up like these people, basically, buried alive in your buildings, looking for a way to kill yourselves. So start preparing, or else, make your last will and testament. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you are